It's your host, Tamara Zoner here. Today we are talking to Juliana Ericson of the Joyful Life Project. Now, we're past the holiday season. Nevertheless, forgiveness is always something we can put our hearts into, and Juliana is a forgiveness coach. Let's dig in and find out what the heck that means. Ready? Let's roll. Hi, I'm Tamara Zoner. Welcome to Spirit Cafe. Come in, sit down, and grab a cup of love. Welcome, Juliana. How are you today? I'm so excited to have
I'm
you here.
great. I'm great. I'm so glad to be here, Tamara.
Yay. I love getting to know people. So, like I mentioned, this is just like we're having coffee together. It's a little late for me to be having coffee at this time of recording. Nevertheless, it'll be just like it. So tell the listeners of Spirit Cafe and the viewers too, about you, what you do, who you are, your spiritual journey, all in a nutshell, because, 30 or
Mm,
40 minutes.
yeah, right. Well, that's a big question. So I love the fact that you talk about spirituality without the religion. That's just awesome. I love it because I'm all about spirituality in every part of the day, thoughts, what you do, the sunrise, all of that. It's just a beautiful, life can be a whole prayer. But my
Mhm.
life did not used to be this way. I have to say, I had to learn the hard way to enjoy the little things, and it's when I began doing that life began making sense for me. I hit a version of a brick wall, which some of us do,
Mhm.
and it had to do with a man, and some of us have had that too.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
I lost it all. I lost my self-confidence and, everything, a lot of the money that my late husband had left me and, all of that stuff. Without getting into a whole lot of details, um, I had nothing I mean, everything, my whole self-confidence was in that man. And I um, found another way to live. And it was through this. I'm a positive mindset coach, and I specialize in rebirthing breathwork and forgiveness.
Oh.
And so, and it began with that little voice. One night that I just did not want to go on. I did nothing. I had done everything wrong. I had screwed up everything in my life. My at that point, I guess he was like 5-year-old son was out for the night. And I thought, if I don't do something, I have to put my life back together. And this little voice in the back, this little quiet voice said, you don't have to do it the same. You can do it different. And I
Mm.
thought, what's different? But there was something about that voice that was so clear, and it called me. And I said, I don't know what that voice is talking about, but I want it. And it was within a few weeks, I found the rebirthing breath work. I found A Course in Miracles, which I still do daily. I mean, I've been meditating since then. Everything changed. So it was like I just gave to this new version of light that I didn't even know what it was. And so anyway, so there you go about the little things matter. And
Right.
so since then, I've turned that little voice up and turn the other voice, that loud ego voice, scary and all that stuff, I've turned that down. And so I'm more in balance. I'm not saying I don't ever have, I do, I have them both, but I know when one's up and one's down. And
Mm.
that's when I have to get to work and do more personal, spiritual work and meditating and do my breath work and all that stuff. So anyway, so that's it. That's where I started.
Okay. Wow. So you had, a lot of us, especially the people that I work with, we have a different kind of scenario with a man. So your husband passed away.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a whole other ball game. That you didn't have a choice in that.
But I did. You see, I found this boyfriend within 2 years after that. And
Mm.
that's the one that I lost my
Oh,
everything with. My
wow.
husband and he was awesome. But when he died and left this money to me, and I was lonely, and this other man said everything I wanted to hear at the right time, the right place, everything. And I was vulnerable. And
Yes.
there you go.
Oh,
So
wow.
That's what happened. I guess I did. Sorry, I didn't make it clear. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
okay. That's why we asked the questions.
yeah.
Wow. So you really you had a couple of big life changes right on top of the other, barely recovering from the first one before you're in this even darker second one, just because there's something in us we don't want to be taken advantage of. And when that happens to us through no real fault, even if we could have changed some things of our own, that shakes us so hard. So it sounds like the universe showed up for you and said, "Hey, Juliana, here's what you need," right? You listen
Mhm.
to that voice. And so tell me about breath work. So I was looking at your website and your Facebook page. And so you're a coach and you do breath work and forgiveness work and positivity. And it sounds like this beautiful triage.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about how they work together?
Thank you for asking that. Most people don't ask that. But the name of my company, the Joyful Life Project, is because it is a triage. A lot of people think that joy is ha ha ha. It's not. Joy is very multifaceted. And somebody could have all the money in the world, but if they don't have any friends or someone who loves them, what's their life work? Or somebody could be the most successful person, have built this giant business, but if they've made everybody mad on their way up, what is that? Or if they don't have any outreach, they don't have any meaning, they don't do help people, or they don't have any creative outlet. Like, I'm an artist, I love doing that. So there's just all these parts of joy, and peace and spirituality and sacred and everything. I mean, there's just all these beautiful parts. So positive psychology is the piece that I'm very Abraham Hicks. Do you know who that is?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So that's the positive psychology piece for sure.
Okay.
That in conventional traditional therapists, I was trained in conventional psychotherapy, but I've gone off and do my own version, which is this. Um, Hold on, I lost my thought. Oh, positive psychology. So what it does, it sees where the hemorrhaging is coming from. Hemorrhaging meaning, like in my version, my self-confidence was low and I gave everything away. So that was my hemorrhaging beginning. And so that taught me, okay, Juliana, let's work on the codependency piece and the self-worth piece and all of that. And that's part of positive psychology, because unless you do something about that, just putting band-aids on a life is not going to make it any better. you
Right.
know you find out what's going on, and then you focus on what you want, not what happened, and stay
Right.
in that victim thing over and over again. That is what I don't do at all, at all. So you talk, and then the rebirthing part. I've been doing this, by the way, 26 years. I've been doing it quite a long time. I do trainings on it and everything. Anyway, um, start one in January. But
Yay. Okay. Very good. Perfect timing.
so the rebirthing piece it's based on prenatal and birth psychology. So what was going on in our mother's life, in her mind, in her experiences, are expressed through the neurochemicals that also they go through her body, they go through the baby's body. And so our early programming is really what we're running on for the rest of our life, until we change it, if we don't like it. And
Right.
so our first experience of intimacy was when we were inside our mother.
Yeah.
So a lot of our relationships, the ones that work or don't work or whatever, has a lot to do with what programs we were programmed with when we were in our mother.
Okay.
So the prenatal and birth psychology piece is a big one. And then the positive psychology, and then the forgiveness is another one. And I wrote a book and published a book on forgiveness called The Other F Word, 7 Days to Forgiving Anyone.
That's a fabulous title. I love that.
Well, that's what it
Yeah.
is. It's like, I don't want to forgive it. But it's really just about being free. It's about, I want my power back, just like that man that, I thought he did all that to me. I thought he ruined my life and took over. But the fact is, when I took my power back and forgave him, even though at that point he had died from a cocaine overdose,
Oh gosh.
with
Wow.
money, and I didn't even know he was doing drugs, but all of the money that I was loaning him, he was using it for all these other things, taking women out with my credit card and all that. It was like,
Oh my
anyway. I
gosh.
know. So
Wow.
it was really it was not a good thing. And so
Right.
I just had to kind of get over this and realize that I had to let go of receiving the idea that I was victimized by him. Because
Yeah,
when
I
I did,
love that. I just want to clarify because, you know, earlier I heard you use really empowered language saying, I gave it all away. And that's so empowering when we take responsibility. I said that too when I left my abusive marriage for years, oh, I lost my voice or whatever. And then eventually I was able to say, no, I actually actively chose
yep,
to give it away piece by piece by piece. And then you said, I just had to get over that. But in fact, you didn't just get over it. I wanted to clarify that because people say, "Oh, just get over it," and what they mean is ignore it, cover it up. But what you did was much more active. You consciously chose to
yep,
release and heal, right?
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Yep. Our wounds are our biggest healers. I mean, we can make it, it's like going to college. I feel like I went to college in life with him. I'm not kidding. You know what I call him now? Are you ready for this?
Yes.
I refer to him as Saint Craig because he changed my life that much. I am grateful to
Wow.
him. I
Wow.
swear to you, I am grateful to that man for redirecting my life as much as he did because I probably would have been on that same road. And not that I was a bad person, but I was nothing like I am now. I love my life. I love me. I love what I do. I mean, every day I wake up in the morning and I go, I love my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do that every morning and I mean it.
I love that.
Yes.
I saw it on your website. It popped up like 3 things to do first thing in the morning. Would you share those with us?
I don't remember what that one was, but I'm sure that what I just said is one of them. I have I have I have like four different ones that I rotate and I
Okay.
don't, but I know that that's one. And another one, if I could tell you what I know, and that is to what every day is a brand new day. Just don't even think about bringing anything that went wrong from yesterday into this one. No, because today is about all possibilities. You get to decide what happens. So why bring the garbage from yesterday into this brand new, pristine day full of all possibilities of wonderfulness? You
Yeah.
get to decide. So anyway, so those would be two for sure, I would say. Yeah.
I love it. I just love that so much. It can be really challenging to wake up first thing in the morning and and express joy. You know, so how do people get into the habit of that? How do you recommend people
Just
create
do
a
it. Just like exercise. If you want to build up your biceps, at
habit?
first you don't want to do it, or you get sore and then you give up after a few days. But guess what? If you do that for a couple of weeks or 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to start seeing biceps build up there.
Mhm.
And that's like with this, the same thing. Even if you don't want to do it, the reason I do my arms is because it's a somatic thing. It gets your body involved in the words you're using. And our words are our affirmations. So our body's hearing that and it's got the energy of it because it's this. And I mean, even my cats know, don't even jump up on me until I've done that. I mean, they know it now.
Okay, so for people who are listening instead of watching, so you're literally throwing your arms up and open and
Yep.
saying, and what are you saying?
Thank you. I love my life.
I love my life.
And then I go, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm opening up to all possibilities, all my arms out. Thank you, because I'm thanking the universe for things that haven't even happened yet because
Mhm.
they're already on their way to me. I just haven't seen them yet.
Yes. I love that so much. I think I'll try that in the morning and report back to you how it works with my partner. See what happens for him when I always wake up first. So when I throw up in my arms and start, loudly proclaiming how much I love my life, which I do, it could be a good influence on him. He's not so
Oh,
much of a
and you get more of what you appreciate, what appreciates. So more of the good stuff comes in.
yes.
And maybe, yeah, maybe he'll start saying, honey, what are you doing lately? I don't know. Should I be going to these meetings with you?
Yeah, well, he has actually come to a few. I run a local meetup called Create a Life You Love, and so he's come to some of those, and he gets me by, osmosis. He gets all my work for free because well, not for free. He bought our house, but but he gets me, all the time, and so it's slowly but surely seeping into his skin and bones and consciousness, and it's really fun to actually hear from his mother what she sees, the changes in him.
Oh, yes, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
That
really
you
neat.
found each other at a great time in your life, right? You
Yeah,
let go of the other thing that didn't work, and now you know what you do want, and that when you find what you want, it just clears a bell. This is worth working on, you know?
that's it. This is worth working on
Yeah,
because nothing's ever perfect,
perfect.
even though it's all
No,
perfect, right? It's all
right.
happening perfectly. It's all what it's supposed to be. And
Yeah,
and relationships, especially whether they're friendships or parent-child or partner, love partnerships,
yep,
they require effort, and knowing that it's worth it
yep.
is key. And so then, okay, so then what kind of breath work do you do? I love breath work, and I'm curious to know what that is exactly.
It's conscious, connected, circular breathing. So this is about bringing in aliveness. This is there are so many different kinds of breathing techniques. I mean, I
Mhm.
I know many of them. I've done yoga for years. I understand. But this one in particular, you breathe into the heart chakra, which is the
Mhm.
healing. So you're activating the heart chakra to open and release what it's been a lot of times anger, blame, resentment has been contracted in our body and in our heart center. And a lot of people, I'll never love again or whatever. But
Yeah.
when you breathe into it and allow the heart to soften, it will. And this breath work does that. It softens it. And then by the end of the hour, you're vibrating. Every cell in your body is vibrating with aliveness. And it's just awesome. I mean, it's just, I love doing this. I'm never not surprised at what people come up with at the end of the hour. It's just fun to see them, what they like when they walk in and what they're like when they walk out.
Yes, it changes things, it opens things, and I teach the skills of happiness, and one of the habits of happiness is moving through life with an open heart, a forgiving heart, a generous heart. Okay, so I come in and I do this breath work with you, and my heart's more open now, and I'm ready to receive love, but I've still got some resentment from a past relationship or my mother or whatnot. So, what's the forgiveness piece? How do I do it?
Okay, well, just to let you know, it's backwards of what you said.
Okay.
I do a 2-hour session. The first hour is the consultation part where
Okay.
I quote speak subconscious. So I'm very
Perfect.
intuitive and I'm able to go into people what they need to talk about. I've just had this gift. And anyway, so it turns up the subconscious. And then in the next hour, they breathe it out and their
Oh,
answers come to
beautiful.
them. It's just amazing how that happens. But I give them homework, and oftentimes the homework, not only if they're willing, I don't ever make anybody do anything. I mean, I'm the last person to do that. But if they want to, I know this stuff works.
Mhm.
And so if they want to do the forgiveness piece, I give them homework, and then I give them the permission to text me each day when they've done, because it takes 7 days to do this one big process. And
Okay,
each morning when they do this, I give them permission to text me and say, I've done it's an accountability thing. And
for
so
sure.
not that I answer them, but I'm aware and I hold them in light
Mhm.
in my morning practice. So I
Okay.
support them that way. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. I totally understand. And I'm sure the audience listening, we have a lot of intuitive people listening. We've had many intuitives on the show in, whatever way their intuition is channeled. And I'm similar in that way. Language, we can hear so much and feel so much in people's language and the way that they talk about their lives. And that's one of my nitty-gritty things when people come, even just to my meetups. I'll always let new people know that I'm probably going to offer you some alternative language. If you're saying I'm overwhelmed and tired and sick and tired, I'm going to say, right, you're probably right. So what do you want instead?
Good. Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Just turn that puppy around.
Exactly, because that I talk about it all the time on the podcast it's like putting your order in for the universe. I am what? I am angry, sad, tired, exhausted, sick? No. I am liberated. I am healing. I am love. I am open. I'm receiving. I'm abundant. I'm breathing, right? What a gift.
I love it. You're on it. Yeah, we definitely are in alignment on so many of these things. If I were in Michigan, I would be going to your meetup groups for sure.
And if I were in Nashville, right? I want to
Yeah.
be in Nashville at some point. I'm going to call you up.
Yeah. Well, I'm here. Yeah, there you go. But as far as the forgiveness piece, though, it's a big one because that's the one that I remember when I did the forgiveness on St. Craig. That was my first one. And usually I tell people to do themselves first because a lot of people they're upset with themselves. And so
Yes.
usually I ask that. But if there's something going on, then we'll go to that thing that's right there in front of us. So anyway, I did St. Craig first, and I cried through that whole thing. I mean, it was a hard one, but I'll tell you, when I finished I just felt like somebody had just opened up the bottom of like if I were full of sand, open up the bottom and all the sand just fell out of my body. I just felt so light and clear and free. It's just awesome. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's that gift of forgiveness, just feeling light and
Yeah.
clear and free. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's what it does. People think, oh, I'm not going to forgive them. It will make what they did okay, but that's not it.
No, no,
It's
that's
for
something
you.
totally different. That's justice. That's not even part of it.
Right.
Let that take, if it's against the law or if some whatever, let that happen. You're responsible for your own version of life, and
Mhm.
holding yourself hostage is pretty much what you're doing. Like any limit, that I love that. Holding resentment is like, drinking rat poison, expecting the rat to die. You're drinking it yourself. Have
Yes.
you ever, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Perfect
And it's true.
analogy.
So anger, I have to share you something funny that happened last week. A woman, her husband is just really snippy and condescending. They've been married a long time, but he's gotten worse as he's gotten older, and he's retired now. And so it's like he's around all the time and being that way. And she says, I don't want to get angry at him, but he really just keeps doing that, is pressing my buttons, and he doesn't ever help around the house. And I'm having to do anyway. All right. She did the forgiveness on him. And within, I don't know, less than a week, just a few days, he opened the dishwasher, did the dishes. He started taking the dog out. He cleaned the litter boxes. He never did any of these things
What?
in 35 years. She said, Julian, I've got to tell you what happened. And
Those are some amazing results.
I know, I know. I know. And he's kinder. So I'm just saying that's the kind of thing that can happen. Sometimes they're big, sometimes they're little. But all I know is that it doesn't feel good to be angry and resentful. Not just that. It not only robs our joy, it robs our presence today, because you
Mhm.
can't be present if you're angry at something from the past. Then you're
Right.
constantly living in the past.
Yeah.
And it's also bad on your body and
Yes.
mind and spirit. Just, I could go on and on, that I don't want to, but anyway, it's just not a good thing. Just let that go. That's all it means, is just to let it go. That's what it
Mhm.
means. If you look in the dictionary, it doesn't mean anything about right or wrong, good or bad, victim, non-victim. It just means to let go.
Mm. That's so beautiful. It reminds me of, I think of the Sedona method. Are you familiar with that one? Where he just says, okay, I always use this pencil as an example, okay, you're holding on to this resentment or this anger so tightly, but could you just open up your hand and let it go, right? And if not now, when? When could you let it go? And it's just it's honestly a practice of forgiveness is such a gentle,
Yeah.
loving
Yeah.
practice. And
Yeah.
then to bring the breath work into that after, that's very powerful. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Yeah. It is powerful. That's why I love my life. I mean,
Mm,
because I live it. I have to live it to be able to share it.
yes.
And then I get to share this awesome way of thinking tool. And there's tons of great ways of living. I get that. But this is my version of sharing. We all share what we know, right? And I like
Yes.
sharing what's worked for me. And so
Yeah.
it's just like awesome. And then especially as I've gotten older and I can add that experience and wisdom and all that stuff too. So it's like, here, you guys, this is what I got to share.
And it's so beautiful. And you're right. We teach what we've learned or what we need to learn. And same in my work. I've found what works for me, and I'm passionate about sharing it and inviting others to do the work if that's the work that calls to them. And I love talking with women like you and other coaches who are doing, ultimately we all have kind of the same goal, which is to just create happier people, healthier hearts on every level, and a better world. And it doesn't matter which tool
No.
we're teaching, using, picking up, setting down. What matters is that people are drawn to one or another. And there's no limit to the amount of helpers in the world and the people who are asking for help and opening to help. And I love that you empower people in the way that you do, because those are such vital pieces to joy and happiness. It's really, really lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you're right. There are hundreds of millions of people who need work by
Mhm.
healers like us.
Yes.
And they can pick whatever works for them, whoever they stumble upon,
Mhm.
whatever interview or article they read, whatever it is. I know, I had my own version of being attracted to so and so. I remember I did pick up A Course in Miracles before that event, but
Mhm.
I had it sitting on my shelf and I never opened it,
Wow.
and that was calling to me 2 years before all that happened. And then
Oh,
now
wow.
it's my daily practice, and I can't imagine life without it.
Oh,
It's
wonderful.
I know, my daily meditation. Anyway, but there's so many, there are ways. So just like I tell people, just pick one. Just don't try to find fault, like, oh, that won't work, or I'll never keep it up, or whatever. Just
Mhm.
pick one and do it, and then give it 6 months or so, and then try something else if you want. But do
Mhm.
something. Don't stay
Right.
stuck. Don't stay angry. Don't stay sad. Don't stay victimized. All of those things. No, there's no reason for it, because there are plenty of ways out.
Yes, 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 yes. And forgiveness is a great one. So if people did want it, so if they say, oh my gosh, like this Juliana is a powerhouse. She's so vivacious and energetic and full of love. Like it's so clear the gifts and the beauty that you're bringing into this world. I'm so happy to be in your space right now. Uh, I know you're launching a program this month, because this will air in January. So this month, as in January, you're launching something amazing. So tell us about that.
Yes, it's called Awakening to Joy. And it's a 6-month program, and it's one weekend a month for 6 months, and it's hybrid. So it's on Zoom and live in Nashville. And it covers all these different ways. Like I was saying before, they're all different parts of joy. But we do everything by covering healthy boundaries and codependency,
Mm.
family patterns, ways to bring joy into your life. All these spiritual disciplines from all these different spiritual traditions around the world. How to use them in your daily life. Chanting, labyrinth. Uh, I just many,
So
many, many.
much.
So and it's a small group, about 15 people.
Okay.
And at this point, they're mostly women. And I've been doing this for maybe, I don't know, 16 years for the workshop. And this is the 6 month is at the end. Oh, and then there's 2 breathwork sessions a weekend. You
Okay.
trade with a buddy in between. So you get to, you help each other. You check in each week. There's required reading. There's homework. So it's like a 6-month whole retreat.
Okay.
And then if somebody wants to go on and become a breath worker life coach like I am, there's an advanced technical training that it's an extension of that.
Okay.
And so that is available afterward. And then I do a water breathwork weekend in August, and that's part of the breathworker training that anybody can attend. So that's breathing in water with a snorkel.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
That's all about relationships that weekend. Anyway, so that's what I do. Thanks for asking. But this is my favorite thing to do a year, because I share all of what I know in 6 months. It's like, and everybody gets customized, individualized attention, and then we work in a group, and the group mind, we choose to be there based on, we know ahead of time who's going to be in the group, our higher self. And we know what we're going to learn from those people in the group. And it's just amazing how people interact and then become lifelong friends afterward. It's just a beautiful experience. I love those programs.
Oh, I love that you pointed out that the higher self already knows. You already know who's going to be there, who you're going to connect with. Those souls are like, yeah, we're going to meet there. We're going to get together in these human bodies. It's going to be so cool. Oh, that's very, very fun. So if people are interested in your work and working with you, and if they happen to be around Nashville and they get to come in person, where do they find you, sign up, get all the Juliana goodness?
So thejoyfullifeproject.com is my website, and I have my events there, and I have you can buy, there's packages in there. You can buy online Zoom sessions or in-person sessions. So thejoyfullifeproject.com, and julianaerickson.breathe on Instagram, Juliana Ericson, the Joyful Life Project on Facebook. So there you go.
Perfect. I'll put those links into the show notes, and people will easily be able to access your events and you, and you're just fabulous, and see your artwork, which I was looking at on Facebook. It's beautiful. So much coming out of you. So much love and creativity and vibrancy, and thanks for sharing it with Spirit Cafe. I'm really grateful.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's been such a pleasure. So I'd love to ask one final question. And that is, if you only had a minute with everybody and anybody, what do you think or feel we humans need to know?
That there's only one of us here.
Boom. Mic drop. That was brilliant. Wow. Thank you. That like went right into my heart. Oh, that was so good. Breathe that in, my friends. Thank you, Juliana. That was a really fun conversation and a profound ending, and I'm so grateful for your presence and that you're sharing it with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a lovely day, my dear.
You too. Thank you so much for being here, for listening. You know how much I appreciate it when you rate and review and comment and subscribe and like and do all the things. And if you've enjoyed this experience with Juliana, check out her website and maybe even join her event. You're worth it. You are worth more joy and a free and clear heart. I will talk to you again next week. This is Tamara saying, go out there and create a life you love right now. Bye. Thank you for joining us on Spirit Cafe. Please leave all comments on our Spirit Cafe Facebook page or in the comments below our YouTube videos.